Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Sideline Stories. Last weekend, I sat down with Irish footballer Ruari Paton, who plays for Port Vale but is currently on loan at Dundee United. I chose Ruari as the first guest on this podcast as I find his story an inspiring one. After being released from Hibs at 19, it would have been easy for Ruari to pack up and return to his homeland. But he stayed, put his head down and worked his way back up the Scottish pyramid. His mindset is one I think many young athletes should look at and try and learn from. I hope you enjoy this episode. Good result yesterday, Ruari. 1-0 against Motherwell.
Yeah.
How do you feel after that? Buzzing?
Yeah, brilliant in terms of the league. I think obviously it was quite important the way other results went. So
definitely.
Yeah, I think we needed a win, to be honest with you. Past couple of weeks have been a bit kind of up and down in terms of we've actually been close in games, but we've just not got over the line with certain places, certain teams. Yeah, needed back to winning ways. That's what they all say. All the managers, back to winning ways. But yeah, we did. We needed it, man. Needed it. Glad you enjoyed it.
Definitely. Confident for Wednesday against Hibs?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, be a hard game now, saying that. Be a tough game. They're obviously flying. I think they're unbeaten in 13.
13 it is.
13, yeah.
Magic.
So they kind of went on a run, especially after the way they started. Yeah, be weird playing against, obviously, team that I watched for so many years and people I know. But yeah, I mean, it's what it's all about, isn't it? I suppose it's a bit of a battle between us and them at the minute. So yeah, I mean, a win would be massive. So
big game,
we'll
big game.
We'll see
happens.
We'll see.
Definitely.
I'm
Good
sure
luck.
they'll bring a good few fans as well.
Aye, definitely. Good travelling support.
That's what you want. You want to play in them games, though. That's the whole point of playing football. You want to play in them games, man.
The fight for third, it's very tight. The league this season, very tight.
Yeah. Well, it's good though. It's good for the neutral, I'd say. You're watching. Obviously, you've got the top two kind of just fighting themselves, even though there's a big gap. But they are kind of. I always say that it's kind of their own league. And probably people say that that's not right, but it is. Is that they've got their own kind of little thing going on, their little 2-horse race, and then we go. The rest of us are kind of trying to.
It's the best of the rest.
Yeah, kind of. But then obviously that's quality, budget, finances. That's it's been like that for how many years now. But in terms of where we are, God, we're in a good position.
Definitely.
Jesus
very
Christ.
Good. Very good.
I mean, in terms of just coming up from the championship last year, I don't think any of the supporters would have expected us to be in the position we're in now.
Third place.
And I'd say that, but they should be delighted with it. And I think there's a real feel good factor around the place. I've been in struggling teams and I've been in teams where you're fighting, but there's a real nice energy about the place. Even going to the games, fans loved it yesterday at the end. You know what I mean? But yeah,
that's what you want, eh?
It is what you want. People, it's like, I was speaking to my mum. About my cousin who was playing kind of League of Ireland, and he was like, he just hated the pressure of it. And I always say to some people, like, football's not for everyone. And people think I'm trying to like fob them off, and it's like that's not what I'm saying. I mean, football is genuinely just not for everyone. The pressure of it, it's sometimes it's not. It doesn't suit your personality. So, I think in terms of the games that come up like that, like obviously the Wednesday game and all, and then the derby next month, and brilliant, man. That's what you dream about when you're a kid.
Definitely exciting times at Dundee United.
So
going back to Hibs, so you came over to Hibs from Ireland when you were 16. Did you just come over yourself?
Yeah, I did, yeah. A bit of a complicated one. Yeah, you weren't allowed to move until you weren't allowed to sign a pro contract. So I got offered, it wasn't a youth deal, it was a full-time deal. So I had to wait till I was 16 to move over. So I moved over my birthday, actually. And I waited maybe a month or two before I moved in with, obviously, Helen from Trinent. Yeah, shout out to Helen. Shout out to the Leslies if they're listening. But yeah, so I went in with Helen. Then after a while, he was just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It was just exactly what I needed to come home. Real solid home foundation for me. Like a nice place to just relax. And obviously, I was a bit of company for Helen. Her husband had died a couple of years before, and they're great people. Her two sons, Jonathan and Darren, took me in. They generally treated me like I was one of their brothers. I still speak to them now, and they're great people. It would have been a lot more difficult if I had moved into, somewhere that was unsettling and kind of out of the way. Yeah, they were
So
brilliant
what is
for
the
me.
script? The Hibs, do they sort the accommodation? Do they work that out? So did you go to school as well? Hibs put you in school?
Yeah, so I did. Yeah, obviously I ended up meeting Camo. But yeah, so I think Helen put up basically like an ad for like just someone to rent a room or a student or something,
Mm-hmm.
and then the club obviously sorted that out between them. So I had to wait for a while. I think Helen was on holiday or something. So I was staying in like Leith or something, in like a B&B almost. Like it was weird time for a month.
Especially being 16, you're over here. It's just you.
Yeah. Funny enough, I didn't think about that too much of the
Did you
time.
not?
I was too worried about being homesick. That's actually what it was.
Really?
I was thinking, man, like if I go over here, like obviously like it's my dream, but like I was so close to my friends. I'm obviously still friends with now, and like my family and all. And I was like, oh, like everyone talks about homesickness, and funny enough, actually, I never suffered from it.
Do you know?
There were times, obviously, the ones where you get like prom night and all that, and back home at leaving cert.
A bit of FOMO, aye.
Yeah, you get FOMO, yeah, but like in terms of like the actual homesickness, I wasn't in the house like, oh, like no, like I need to leave, I need to go home. I never felt that way, even when it was quite hard. I never ever got that, but I never thought about that too much actually when I was that age. I think some things just force you to grow up. You just get put in a situation.
It's one of them,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that can be a good thing, You just get thrown in the deep end, like. But I loved it.
Definitely. What was it like at Hibs? So did you just go straight in the development team?
Yeah. So I went into them. So I think I'd missed I think I was going over for a couple of weeks at a time before I was allowed to actually move over. So I was there kind of during the summer. So I went in on the pre-season with them. Yeah, I went into the changing room. Bit daunting.
It would be, especially
young
age.
Yeah, but people don't want to admit that to you. But yeah, I'd no clue. I mean, the culture was different. The people were different. There was a guy from Musselburgh. His name was Aaron Dunsmore.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to bring me in sometimes. So you remember my house in Trinidad was literally the last right before you go to the training centre.
So close.
So he used to pick me up and all. And I didn't have a clue what he was saying.
Just didn't understand that.
I couldn't understand his accent. So he'd be speaking to me every day. And I'd just be like, yeah. I was thinking, I don't have a clue what this guy's on about. Like,
what is he saying?
Yeah, just like the accent, I was just in a completely different place. Because some of my family are from Glasgow. And I never realised how much of a different accent it was. And like the culture was different. And I wasn't playing with people my age. And like I was going in, there was boys who were like 19, 20. And I was only like 16. And yeah, everything was just so different. And then even the training, the fitness, obviously, because you're full time. I was still only doing 2 nights a week and just playing with my mates. And obviously, I obviously thought I was massive, and I thought I was a big fella back home. But I got there and I realised I was just a little scrawny kid. Like I was playing with actual like men, So
Just getting used to that as well. You used to just 2 days a week.
Yeah,
and then it felt like it's every day.
But then
much.
then when the full time came, it was. Jesus Christ, it was like
takes a bit getting used to. Definitely.
Yeah, I got knocked into another world of fitness. I was like, my God, like this is
shredded.
This is minging. Like I was like, I couldn't believe how hard it was. So I ended up getting in. I ended up going in with it was difficult. I would say very difficult in terms of I was very quiet the first year. Probably too concerned about what people thought of me, to be honest.
One of them, aye.
Yeah, probably one of them because I was probably dying so hard. I was probably trying so hard to fit in, like, I was like dying to just like be involved with the boys, and I probably just that it's counterproductive then, But I remember thinking the other day, it was just quiet as a mouse. The first year, I was like sitting in the change room, just not
want to do anything wrong. Like
nothing,
just to fit in. That's it.
Not even putting your personality on things. It's like, that's how I probably cared too much about that, and didn't put my personality out enough, But in terms of the boys that I actually ended up spending time with then over the years, I met some great people there, man. So that's why I don't have a bad feeling.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned one of them there. Any more? Any other
ones that people would know? Well, yeah, geez, the biggest one I know is Porteous, Ryan Porto, yeah. Know him, obviously. Scotland done so well. Fraser Murray was
he's flying at Kilmarnock now.
Kilmarnock, Josh
season.
Josh was at Hibs. He was the same age as me. We went to the Milk Cup together and all. Josh is playing. Ollie Shaw's playing in. He's in the championship at the minute.
Playing for Hamilton.
Yeah, the good few of them there. Big Kev, Dabrowski playing at right. Obviously, all the Hibs boys love him.
He's well liked.
We had a good team. We had a good team, man. That's. I know I made the joke yesterday, but that's why I couldn't get in it. I couldn't get in it. We would, for Hibs to have won the Youth Cup and the league against obviously the Celtic and Rangers of their academies, they were a big achievement. A few names that people would know obviously professionally now, which is a testament to the team because it was a lot of really, really good talent and probably one of the best youth teams that Hibs have had in a long time. Obviously, maybe Scott Brown. Them
Definitely,
ones,
that group, yeah.
I mean, I couldn't think of anything in between that, and that's not boasting because I didn't really feel a part of it. But yeah, I mean, great quality.
No, really good. And some of them have went on. You look at Porteous in the championship.
You knew
Josh.
You knew Porteous was going to be like that though, and Josh as well. But Josh just kind of bloomed late. You knew Porter was going to go on and
definitely they just have that in them.
I just thought, you just knew. Obviously, the big thing about him is that nastiness he has in him as a defender is just horrible to play against. But what people overlook,
to play against, is it? You look, Porteous got Porteous next week.
Oh yeah, Joe. People overlook about him. Then this is the problem. What people overlook about Porter is he's seriously good player.
He can play.
I think the whole thing about him being horrible and a big tackler and all.
He gets a bad rep.
He's good.
But he can play. He can definitely.
Yeah, he's good in the ball, mate.
He can pass.
Does
he play midfield?
No, he plays in the half
team. Is that what it was?
We lost like 3 games that year, and they were all when he weren't playing.
Really?
Like, every time he played for us in that youth year, we didn't lose a game because he was just. Yeah, he was that good.
So you always knew that he was going to go.
Yeah. There's people in academies like that. You can see kind of that they're being pushed in terms of like they're on a trajectory to go to the first team and obviously beyond. But yeah, I think people overlook how good he is as a player because he's a seriously good player as well. Mate.
Good.
Still speak to him now, yeah. So,
definitely legend.
Yeah,
funny. Ryan Porteous.
Yeah, Ryan for you.
But so
big guy as well. So he's done well. But a lot of them have done well, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, definitely successful team.
A lot of them have done well, man. But yeah, that was a development team. That was
So did you struggle to get in that team?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So were you there for the first year and then you went on loan to Gala?
Yeah. So I was there the first year, kind of in and out. The second year, I think was the year we won the. I think it was one of the years when we won the league. I went along the last year to Gala, but that was basically just because no one else would really. No one would watch me in them games because I just couldn't get into the team. Yeah, that was basically just the real blunt way of putting it. Unfortunately, not a sob story, but just the management didn't think I was good enough to play in it. That's fair enough. I obviously didn't agree with it, but. I think I went on loan then because I was just so sick of it by that time. I'd been there. It was my 3rd year, and I was like, right, look, I've had enough of this. I think something happened with the development league that they weren't playing as many games. So I was like, right, I'm just gonna go on loan. But the problem was that none of these teams that I could have went on loan to, not even like a League 1 or League 2 team, they didn't know who I was because I weren't even getting on.
Exactly, you weren't getting on in the development game, so how can anyone be even scouting you?
Yeah, and that's the truth of it. So Gala took a chance on me, to be honest with you. They just said, I think they were probably struggling. I thought, right, let's bring this young boy on. Let's get him in. So I ended up going there. Man. That's
well scored barrel though, day.
Yeah,
13. 13 goals.
I think it was in the league. Yeah. So I think I went in November because I got to the point then I'd grown up a little bit and. I'd become a bit stronger in my personality. That I just went in. I just said, "Look, come on, I'm just getting sick of this now." I just said, "Look, just put me on loan." A lot of the boys have went on loan. None of my Jamie Gullen. Yeah, I think a few people. He's at Wraith. I think he's still at Wraith now. He went on loan there, and then another boy called Adam Watson went. So I was like, right, let me go. Stupidly enough, at the time though, I was thinking if I go on loan and do well, I'm going to get a new deal here. But there was absolutely no chance I was getting a new deal.
Did you know as well? You were like, nah, that's it.
Yeah, because a few boys had went on loan, and I'd done the best out of them by a mile, and the other ones were being kept on, and I was like, I just knew, right, like, this is not good. Like, I maybe put that in my mind so that I had something to look forward to, because you obviously need a goal and you need an aim.
You need a bit of motivation, yeah.
Yeah, you need to be able to look towards something. But so I ended up going on loan there, and I actually really enjoyed it. I was a bit naive back then in terms of football. I thought if I go there and do well, I might get on this.
It's easy, but it's no.
And it's not a disrespectful thing to Gala or the Lowland League or anything, but I probably just didn't realise how much of a drop it actually was. But I loved it. I swear, I loved it. Obviously, playing first team football, I met some great people, and they looked after me. I really, really enjoyed that couple of months, all the way up until the end of the season. And we finished 8th in that league, which is like a serious achievement for
Gala.
Yeah, for Gala, because they don't do particularly well in that league. So we done well. We had a good team. I was speaking to one of the boys the other day. Ricky, he's coming up to the Hibs game on Wednesday.
Is he?
I actually really enjoyed them times. I mean, I know I've said that, but I probably didn't get how much of a drop it actually was. But yeah, loved it.
Would you recommend a loan move to someone who's sitting in an academy now, just not getting a sniff?
Yeah. I would actually, I'd maybe go even further than that. I'd say just go.
Just go.
I know obviously maybe the full-time training, but like in terms of if a young person was watching this and they've got any apprehension or any fear about going on loan, because it might be tough and all that, but it's the best thing you ever do. It's the best thing I ever done, was go on loan, because that's actually how I ended up getting my move the year that I got released, because I played against East Kilbride, who were in that league. The young people that are playing, academy football is not the same thing as playing first team football, where stuff actually matters. Winning matters.
Different.
Yeah, you're playing against teams who
playing against men.
Yeah, you're playing against men, and people say that as if it's a cliche. It's not. It's the truth. You need to be able to withstand it. It forces you to bulk up, which is definitely what I had to do. I remember I got to about 19. My mate, God rest him, he's not with us anymore. He used to go to the gym, and when he was like 18, 19, and he was bashed the gym out. And I remember thinking, like, I can't go home if I'm like a professional footballer and like the boys are in like better nick than I am. I was like, man, I need to start going to the gym. Like, do you know what I mean? I can't go be home scrawny and all the boys in the gym pumping iron. So I was like, it forced you to grow up. It forced you to grow up, man, and it puts pressure and demand on you. And it's irregardless of the level. It's the principle of it. You're dealing with a manager. You're trying to get into a team in a men's environment, and the stuff I learned that you don't realize you're picking up when you're playing them games is invaluable. Like, it is I can't stress enough the stuff you pick up when you're playing them games.
Much better than sitting playing the development. You're just playing the same
yeah,
addies.
And it's not a bad thing to them. I'm not trying to be horrible to development teams. It's just like, men's football is a different thing.
Completely different.
It's a completely different thing, man. It really forced me to grow up. Then the lessons in terms of the game and even like tactically, positionally, where to be, you just can't replicate it in development football. But they should do it younger. I actually wish I'd done it when I was 17, not 19. I wish, because if I'd went when I was 17, I maybe would have been able to sort something by the time the end of my contract was up, where I didn't have to drop levels. Again, I could have maybe proved myself the next year and the year after that. Yeah, probably. But then, I mean, looking back in it was, it's worked out now, but just wish I'd done it a bit earlier,
Definitely. So that's one regret you'd have.
Yeah,
I wish you'd done it earlier.
Maybe just in hindsight, looking back in it, you'd maybe think, I probably should have done that a bit earlier, because I maybe could have prevented some hard times, without being, it's not a sob story, but I could have prevented some hard times, yeah.
Definitely. So you're then released from Hibs. What did you know that was coming? You mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I did, yeah. I mean, I was probably in denial about it to Klaus family and all, but I knew. I remember the first year I was at Hibs, I remember the guy saying to me, I obviously had a 3-year deal, and the guy who was in charge was like, well, you're not getting, he was having a go at me about something, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this guy's just on me every day. And he was like, how are we going to get you to back to the level we gave you a deal at? And I said, well, like I need to play and all that. And he says, well, he was basically like, well, it doesn't matter because you're not getting a new deal anyway. And I remember thinking, that's 2 years away, and he's already made up his mind
Exactly
that I wasn't getting a new deal. So I knew it was coming. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm in a sticky one here, like, because I remember him saying, no, you're not getting a new deal. And it was the first year of my contract.
You're just thinking,
and I was like, right. So I knew it was coming, yeah. I knew it was coming. And, I could understand why. Yeah. So I ended up getting released. So I went on trial. I think, I can't remember the timing's a bit messy now. I think it was pre-season. I think I went on trial to Airdrie. Yeah, I went on trial with Airdrie before the season ended for like a couple of nights, and then I went in pre-season, just doing running basically. And then what happened was so East Kilbride had won the league the year before when I was on loan. So that guy was like, right, do you want to meet up for a coffee and all this? So I put on my best gear, went down, put the Chelsea boots on.
Or the fake gear on.
Yeah. Got down, met him, and I just said, look, I don't want to go home. Going home for me was like, I just had like a phobia of like going home and being like, look, another Irish boy over, and didn't work out, and it was the manager's fault, and he didn't like me, and blah blah blah. I'm the victim. I just didn't want that to happen, and I looked at the boys that were still there, and I thought, nah, I know I could have a career here. I know I could play in these leagues, and I know if I got better every year that I could prove myself and scale. Just like a business, obviously, look at it in terms of scaling. So he was like,
of working yourself back up the leagues.
Yeah, kind of expanding your skill set, becoming a bit more all-rounded. And so he was like, so basically back to the original point was, he was like, I wanted to give you this and all. And I said, well, the biggest thing for me is that I need someone to stay, because I was living with my auntie and uncle at the time, but obviously I couldn't live with them for a year or two. I was like, I need someone to stay. I said, that's the only thing. I said, I don't care about getting paid. I said, if you can't pay me, just give me someone to stay. So I ended up staying in East Kilbride, because when I went, obviously, I said it before, Ian Murray was like, I think you're on the fringes, and if you get a deal off East Kilbride, you should go. So I thought, right, okay.
Therefore,
I thought, right, okay, no problem. We'll go there then. Once again, I thought I could play here, but that was just a matter of opinion. So I ended up going to East Kilbride.
So that was at Airdrie, weren't they fancying you? Not?
No, weren't fancying me at all.
So went East Kilbride.
Looking back now, the amount of Airdrie fans that are probably buzzing about that, because they absolutely hate me.
Oh, do they? We'll get on to that too, right?
Yeah, so they're probably buzzing about that now. But yeah, I ended up going to East Kilbride. So they gave me a flat. The people who owned East Kilbride, called the Keens, they had a lot of property, so I ended up going into this flat. Yeah, and I had to find myself a job. So I was
labourer.
Yeah.
What was that like? Reality check.
To be honest, man, it was depressing. Yeah, I was there was times I used to work. I was doing basically what's the right word? So I was working with the joiners. So the joiners they were building like this pub, and I was like putting like glass wool into the walls to like for insulation, and I was helping them put up the thing. But after a while, there wasn't really much for me to do. They were basically just letting me work at the pub for a while, and I was getting absolutely like no money for it. But it was just like my head would wander. That was the problem with labouring. Like I'd be sitting there at lunch, and my head was wandering to places. I just felt like I'd just been smashed into this new world, and I was like, what am I doing? I was like, what am I actually doing here? Like, I know I've got fear going home, but like, what am I doing here sitting in a building site with like the steel toes on? The fella working at me was like hung over, and it was like a Wednesday. And just like going out Tuesday night, like he was like getting sick at the lunch break. And I was like, man, what am I doing here? Like, I was like, this
At that point, were you thinking, might just go home? Like,
yeah. Oh, that's what I mean. But my head was wandering. I was thinking about stuff from like my childhood that I'd never thought about before, because I was just going on these trains of thoughts of like, oh, like remember that and this, and like, I would always come back to like, how have I got here? And maybe through them times I've understood I needed to stop looking outwards as to why I was in the situation I was in. I needed to look inwards to change the future. In terms of, because you can't control other people, you can't control situations, you can only control you. And maybe it gave me a bit more autonomy, that I was getting to a place where I thought, you know what, I'm actually gonna look at what I can do in the future now, so that this doesn't happen again. Because at that point I was thinking like, right, just go home. Like that's what I mean by
easy option, eh?
Oh yeah, of course. But I'm sure a lot of people suffer
understandable
from,
as well. People be like, oh.
That's got to be relatable, surely, at some point. Like, everyone's got to a place where they're thinking, man, like, what am I doing here? Like, this is. It was more so, maybe a bit more imposter syndrome, where you're like, what do you actually think is going to happen here? Like, do you think you're going to be labouring here for a while and then you're going to end up playing the World Cup or something? I was like, you know, this is a bit unrealistic. So my head was going. So I had to kind of try and be nice to myself then and be like, look, think about what you can change, and think about what's happened over the last couple of years and what could have you done differently to have prevented it, you know? And maybe stop looking at yourself as like a victim of something, and, you know, maybe you were the problem. So
definitely, good way to think, definitely.
Hopefully.
So you put your head down, scored, what was it, 12 goals by November?
Yeah. So I got to score. Yeah, so the biggest thing, what I changed back then was I started practicing more the last year of my contract when I was at Gala, at Hibs. That's another thing as well. I remember Louis Stevenson sat down and had a chat with us, and he was like, if I could have done one thing in my career, he's like, I wish I just went out more during the week and like practiced my crossing and getting forward and my touch and all that. And I remember thinking about that on the site, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to be like inch before everyone training, practicing free kicks. That was my first one. It was a free shot on goal. So if you can get good at that, you'll get a few more goals from free kicks. So I ended up practicing so much more, and I ended up going in on, like, obviously because we were training 2 nights a week, and I was like, well, that's not enough. So I ended up playing like 5-a-sides, and I started going
just
in before.
Fives with your mates, just experience, eh?
I used to end up having like scraps at 5s and all that. No, I used to like. So when I was your age, lad, I used to like nutmeg people and just wind them up. Be like telling them they were crap and all that, like 5-a-sides on a Monday, like just like
people take it serious. Like, you'd be surprised, eh?
Do you know what happened? I was doing it in Glasgow. I mean, I think I was at Queen South at the time, actually, and I was full time, so I probably shouldn't have been playing the 5s. But
no, we'll cut this bit out.
But yeah, I ended up playing this guy, and I was basically just taking the piss out of him, and we played them again like 2 months later, yeah, and it was like a vendetta against me. They're like man-marked me. And like start like booting me and all, and I was like, "What you doing?" And he was like, "That's what you get for slagging me like in like February."
Got your back.
And I was like, "I didn't even know you." I was like, "What you on about?"
Who are you?
So I'm more or less having scraps down 5s. That's what was happening, man. I was getting in these arguments with people of 5s. It was anyway. Yeah. So I ended up doing a bit more practice when I got to that point, because I was thinking, if I can outwork everyone here, I can't get. So my biggest thing was, I can't get better than people if we're doing the same. If we're all training 2 nights a week, I'm only actually playing football for 3 hours a week, an hour and a half each, and then the game. I was like, man, like if I want to go back to where I want to go,
needs to be more than that.
I need to be doing way more than that. I always think about people. Always like, a lot of people like to slag me for like going out and doing extra after training and all, because I think I'm being busy. But I always think about, like, there's a good story about Ronaldo. I think it was Jesse Rodriguez or something. He said first day of pre-season he showed up to Real Madrid like 2 hours early. He said it was the first day I wanted to press Ancelotti, and Ronaldo was already there. And it's like, do you know how arrogant you have to be, right? If Ronaldo's doing it, that you think you're like alright to not do it.
Exactly.
Like,
it just shows, eh?
And I get he's a generational talent. He maybe once in a lifetime, him and Messi. So they're kind of exceptions. But my point being that if people at that level are doing it and you're not, you've got no chance.
No chance.
Yeah, you got no chance, man. So yeah, I ended up scoring. I scored a lot of goals then because I played Stuart Malkin, the guy that brought me in. yeah, gave me a lifeline, man. To be honest with you, gave me a lifeline. I mean, if I hadn't got that opportunity, I don't know what I would have done, because I really didn't have anything else. If I didn't get a deal off East Kilbride, I weren't going nowhere.
That would have been it.
Yeah, so
And then that season was stopped. Was that season stopped with COVID?
it was, yeah.
What was that like? What was you? That's like another setback. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that killed me a little bit, but it didn't. Because what happened was my captain at the time, Craig Malcolm, was great help. Him and a guy called Graham Holmes were great people. They kind of they were like more like mentors for me at the time, talking about training properly and doing things right. He knew someone at Stranraer, and he was like, man, come down to a game, watch him. Like, I think he could play for Stranraer. He'd obviously played for them. He was like their second top goal scorer ever. And he says, look, man, I'm telling you, I think this boy could play for Stranraer. So, the game before the season shut down for COVID, it was like a Thursday night or a Tuesday night or something. My mum came over. It was snowing, East Kilbride, right? It was snowing. We were playing Spartans, and the guy came to watch. His name was Frank McCowan. He came to watch. We were at the game. We lost 4-1. I scored a free kick, but I actually played well. We got absolutely pumped, man, 4-1. But he came to watch, and the next day, the season shut down. So more or less, is if he hadn't come to that game and I hadn't played well, I probably wouldn't have got a move to Stranraer then when the football started back up. Because he came in to text me after when I went home, and he got in contact. But like, you talk about perfect timing. Like, I generally think that was just God. Like, and that sounds a bit dramatic, but it's not dramatic. It's not dramatic in terms of, it was just perfect time. If he hadn't been at that game when I went home for COVID, I would obviously wouldn't gone back to East Kilbride. And at that time, I was like, I needed to go up every year. I had to go up every year because I was just wasting, like, I couldn't waste any time.
It's a short career as well. I mean, you're only playing until you're 35, 36.
Yes.
But
yeah, I was just wasting time.
Can't be wasting time, aye.
So I said, look, I'm going to go. I need to go up every year. I was kind of like getting a bit paranoid about that. So perfect timing. So he got in contact when I went home.
So during COVID, you're back in Dublin. What was that like, being back home? Good?
Yeah, mad, because I ended up actually staying there for so much longer than I thought. Do you know when everyone thought it was just going to be for 2 weeks? Yeah. That everyone was like, yeah, after 2 weeks we'll be good, like, we'll be back to normal. But I went back on a ferry then, like a day or two after that game, and just brought all my stuff with me. So I was thinking that, like, if I got stuck in East Kilbride, like, the place I was living was like it. Man, it was, you can't. It was like a den, like you wouldn't have put the dog in the yoke, like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was, man. I had 2 taps, yeah. Do you know, obviously you get the taps in your sink. They were just the same temperature. Like, if you put your hand on it, you wouldn't know which one was hot. My boiler didn't work. It was a little chip thing. I mean, I've told a story a few times about basically I only had like 10 quid left. And no, I only had 5 quid left.
5 quid?
Yeah, man, I had 5 quid. Like, I'd basically spent the money I'd made from the labouring, which was absolutely nothing. It was like 100 quid a week. And it was like, so I was putting it in the meter, and I went to the shop, so I scraped like all the pennies out my car from this gaff, man. I ended up going to the shop and I said, look, can I put 5 quid in I'm standing in line, yeah. Right, I'm standing in line asking, can I put 5 quid into my electricity meter? And she's like, nah, the minimum's 10. I was like, man, oh my God. So I got back to my gaff. Same thing again, talking about your head wandering. Got back to the gaff, I was looking at my car. My gaff was freezing, man. Do you know, don't do it to the mic. Do you know when you blow out on a winter's day and you can see the mist? Man, my sitting room was like that. I do that, I go in my sitting room. And I could see my breath coming
freezing,
out.
Freezing, aye.
Oh, man.
Cold
Palmer, man. It was freezing, lad. It was freezing. So I ended up going, I was like, man, if I get stuck here, like, I might get the plague if I get stuck here. So I was like, well, I'm going home. Like, I said,
need to go.
So I got the first ferry back, and then I think the next day they shut the ferries or something, like a week after they shut the ferries. So I ended up actually staying in Dublin for 5 months.
5 months? What were you doing? Just sitting on the Xbox, getting smashed at God, aye?
I was sitting playing Warzone. Literally
Who
everyone.
wasn't he? Aye.
Everyone was doing.
And were you still training? Or
Didn't go on the what was that thing called? House party.
House party.
Remember that?
Oh, the
Yeah. Remember a house party, man? Everyone was going on a house party.
Mhm.
Yeah, that I was not doing that, man.
Nah, no chance. Too cool for that. Eh?
Yeah, I was not doing that. I was just staying in, going by the 1 mile rule. I didn't break any rules.
Yeah, so going out for runs and that, no even that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
5Ks. Everyone was doing a 5K.
I done a few 5Ks, and then I was like, "Why am I doing 5Ks? Nah, I play football. I'm not a runner." Because I was doing 5Ks and I was like getting under 20 minutes.
Flex.
I was like getting under 20 minutes, right? And I was like, "Why am I doing this? Like, bro, I'm a footballer. Like, I'm not doing this is not what you do when you go back to training."
That's no way.
And it was like a proper trend as well, wasn't it?
Aye.
Everyone's lying about the time and all.
It was. I seen
Yeah,
a few
put up
dodgy
that.
ones like.
I got like 16 all. It's like, no, you didn't.
Seen
mate.
you got
Like,
under 20s of it. Don't know, like.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Because I had to do so many of them and I was like getting stressed then because like we had to get it in underneath 20 minutes before we went back. Because I ended up doing one a couple of years ago for pre-season after COVID, about 2 years after COVID. And I done a 5K. I was like, man, I'm never doing a 5K again.
So bad. It's
I was
not
like,
worth
this
it.
is
The
so
runner's
shit.
high and that. What's
Man, runner's high. No.
What is that?
Doesn't exist, mate.
Just on the way.
Runner's high. That's what just runners tell you. So
Is it?
I ended up staying for 5 months anyway, yeah. I was doing loads of running and then I was doing my own training. I got sent a program. So when I ended up doing a Zoom call with the people at Ruari. So I ended up doing a Zoom call and then they were like, look, we want to bring you in and give you this. And I said, right, okay. Funnily enough, yeah, I would say that was one of like the most like breakthrough moments I had. Which sounds quite stupid, yeah, but it felt like so monumental to me at the time. I was like, right, I'm getting a move up. I'm going to be in the leagues, and you know, I remember being like real emotional about that move at the time. I went to the park down where I live, and I was like, right, man, I just it just gave me so much hope that I was like, right, if you can do this again,
Right, this is it.
do this again, like
Just keep doing it.
yeah. Which
Climb the
obviously
ladder.
easier said. Yeah.
Aye.
So yeah, I ended up going to I ended up going there, but yeah, I stayed at home for 5 months. I got actually the best thing about COVID was I got really close to my best friend. We spent so much time together that we never did before. So I ended up getting to
made
spend
up for lost time because you obviously came
Yeah.
over.
Yeah,
16.
that's what I mean. Made
Reconnect
up.
them old pals.
Made up for lost time, and so I was spending a lot of time with family as well. So I got some real good time in. That won't ever happen again. You know what I mean with the
never,
football.
no.
I'll never get 5 months at home again. Just
Chilling, feet
just
up and
free, yeah. So
COD.
just COD, yeah, COD going out.
Good God, like.
They were doing a thing as well back home. He would have been to it. They were doing takeaway points. So we used to like where we used to go when we were younger was like this little weird place. It was like you could jump in the summer. You weren't supposed to go in it, right? But everyone done it. But they were doing
Bad
like
boys, eh?
yeah, bad boys. You go in, you'd get like a little pint, and you'd take them in like a little takeaway cup, and you just sit beside the river in the summer. It was like July time, and you'd sit with the little takeaway pints. It was brilliant, man. Great memories.
Quality, aye.
Ah, brilliant, man.
It's class.
Brilliant, yeah.
That's class. So then the move to Stranraer, successful season. He played right wing,
Yeah.
9 goals.
Yeah.
Take that, eh?
Yeah.
Nearly double figures.
that was-
getting there, eh?
I know, it was close. I know. Me and the other striker were having a joke about it because he was big. Tam Orr's name was. He was so selfish. He would just shoot all the time, and he was like, "I'm a top scorer. I'm top scorer of this club and all." And I was like, "Man, I'm playing right wing." So we had 3 strikers, and basically he wanted to play all 3 of us, but because I wasn't like a real conventional striker, he put me on the wing to try fit us all in. But we done well actually. Yeah, we done well. We got into the playoffs, and then we played
Dumbarton.
Dumbarton and
Researching that.
done research. He's in the research. Did you research the game?
Nah, never.
Yeah, I missed a penalty
Did you? No chance.
and we lost.
I'd actually never looked at that.
We lost. Yeah.
Did you? What
That
was
was-
that like? You gutted?
Yeah.
Confident before it? Like, bye, too right, I'm doing
I changed my mind.
Did you?
So what happened? Do you know what happened to referees?
Mm-hmm.
I put it in a spot, but the spot was like a crater, like generally,
really?
right? And it was like in the ground. So I was like, man, I can't take a penalty from there. It's in the ground. Like the pitch was shite, right?
Just blame the pitch, aye. Just
So I
so
was
that,
like,
mate.
man, I can't take a penalty from that spot. So he kept making me move it like 8 times.
Oh, that
So I was there for
help.
about 2-3 minutes, right? And I was like, man, just let me hit this penalty. And then I ended up changing my mind, and I missed. And he went the wrong way. He went the same way, and I missed a penalty. But yeah, that was like,
Was that gotten another?
oh my God, I hope I never feel anything like that again.
Is that the worst feeling you've had?
Yeah, because you know what it is.
It all leads up to that game, and then
You've done all season to get to
done all
that.
the hard work.
But you just feel like you let everyone else down. That's the worst bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you take all like the initiative, the responsibility, and then when you don't come through, you've let everyone else down. So the whole dream of getting promoted is done then, just because you missed your penalty. Yeah, that was a horrible feeling, man.
Penalty's cruel, very cruel. Good way to lose a game, I think.
Yeah. So they were 1-0 up, and then I missed a penalty, and they stayed up. But if we had beat them, I think we would have got promoted.
Really, that's gotten there.
Which is yeah. I actually, funny enough, I don't think about it too much now.
Do you know not?
No, I don't think about it at all. I wouldn't think
It's
about
part of the journey, yeah.
Yeah. You gotta ride the emotional wave sometimes.
Therefore, lesson learned, eh? Didn't change your mind.
Don't change your minds, yeah. Don't second guess. So yeah, we done that. That was kind of the end of that. And I was kind of hoping that I'd get something that season, but I probably didn't do well enough to get out in that season. So I had to go, and then I ended up going on trial with Queen of the South.
Going on trial, Queen of the South, yeah.
I did, yeah.
Signed there. 2-year deal, was it?
Yeah, so you did. They were a champ. So I was like, that was a kind of leapfrog League One. So I was like, right, here we go.
This is it. We're getting there.
We're getting there. So I was like, right, we're close now. I'm only a league below. So I was like, right, okay, we're getting there. But
good start at Queen of the South as well, eh?
Yeah,
3 goals in the first 3. 2 at Fir Park.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I remember the guy Ali Roy he always tries to claim the second goal that he touched it, but I don't know.
Say one. We'll just say one.
We'll just say one to be polite. But yeah, I ended up going there. We went on trial for 2 weeks. Same thing about being a bit naive in terms of they did not have enough players.
They know.
No, that is ultimately why they ended up getting relegated. We ended up getting relegated. It's like they were constantly turning over maybe 10, 15 players a season. It's like that's going to bite you in the ass at one point,
Eventually going to pay for that.
So I ended up going there, yeah. Ended up going there for a while.
So championship, that is a big step up.
Yeah, it was. It was 2 weeks.
Did you struggle that season? How did you find the championship? Did you think, I can do this, or it's a bit hard?
I don't know. Maybe looking back at it, okay. At the start, I was playing right wing back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm playing right.
Bit of change, yeah.
I was like, right, okay. I mean, I'll play right wing back if you want, but manager didn't see me at the time. He's like, you're playing right wing back. I was like, right, okay. And I ended up scoring a few goals there. So I was like, right, maybe I'll just go here for a while. Looking back at it now, I should just been like, look, I'm playing. But I think it was because I just got into the championship team. It was like, just get in, get your football, play and all. So I was like, right, okay, no problem. So he ended up playing, yeah. But that Motherwell game gave me the most hope out of anything that happened in my career. I finally played in a Premiership team, and I finally scored in a game like that. I was like, it just made it so real. Then I was like, I know I can play top flight now, And that was obviously the aim when I came as a kid. I was like, right, I know I can play this now. But yeah, it was a hard season because I ended up coming out. And then I was out for a long time, and I kind of came back in after a while. Yeah, it was a hard season.
So when a team's constantly losing, what's the dressing room like? Is it just why us?
It's hard, man. It's hard because you just you end up. It's hard to put into words. Changing rooms are kind of. It all depends on the personalities you've got in the changing room. Obviously, at that time, we had a lot of boys from England. We had a few boys that were there kind of from the year before. But a lot of the team that was there the year before done really well. Then I don't know if you remember it. They nearly ended up going into the playoffs,
really?
And in the championship. And yeah, a lot of the boys had left. So I think Dobes had just retired. Well, Stephen Dobie had retired the year before. or the year before that. It was soon. So a lot of the boys that were there when they were, had a good run, gone. So the person, I mean, we were young. That was probably the problem with it. There were so many young people in that change room, and that's when you need older heads to like stay, keep the ship steady. And
I need a few experienced boys in there, definitely.
Yeah, and like we had we just had kids. That's just the best way to put it, man.
Young. So you're relegated, and then what were you thinking at that stage? Just, I'll see, you got another year on your deal, I'll just stay here.
Yeah, I was maybe thinking at that stage, right, like, okay, need to get the head down a bit more now. Go for it again. Don't come out of the team. And fight for your place. They were hard times. They're probably the hard times you talk about as a footballer. They're being out of the team and not being involved. That's what kills you most. Is feeling like you're not kind of really part of it. So I was just like, right, I'm gonna go home, put the head down. I just trained the whole summer. I didn't do a lot of running per se. I done what running I had to do, but I just went home and said, right, all I'm doing is training, going to the gym, just technique practice, because I'm going back next year, League One. I'm gonna score a load of goals up front because I'm not playing right wing. And I said to Willie Gibson, he's a great guy. He done a lot for me actually in the first year. I said to him, look, if I'm coming back like this year, I need to play up front. I need to play as a striker. All this right wing nonsense needs to stop. Like,
just
get that in the bin. Basically, like I was like, no.
I rate that for you, like, therefore.
So I said,
tell him straight.
But I said, look, if you play me in the right position, I'll score goals for you. So I can score goals from right wing, but if I'm in the box, I'll score goals for you. So yeah, I put the head down, and I just went on a bit of a mission, to be honest. I changed my diet that year. I just went on meat. That was a big one. I'd done the vegetarian diet for a while. Looked like a junkie. So yeah, looked ill for a while.
Looking seriously bad. Are you on that
now? No. I'm fresh now. Looking good. You know what I mean? You should maybe take a bit from my book. Take a page from my book.
Too right.
Well, I ended up changing the diet, and I felt so much better for it then. Just the red meat. I was doing that Saturday before the games. Felt fit. My body felt good, and then I just got in a bit of a roll, scoring goals, and then I got into a bit of a flow and a rhythm, and I knew I wasn't going to be out of contract. I thought, right, well, I could go somewhere for free, which would be ideal, and then the goals kept coming and coming. So I was like, right.
What was it? 25 goals?
Yeah, I think so.
All competitions, decent, nominated for Player of the Year.
Yeah. I did. Yeah.
Not bad, like decent.
I know. The problem was I wasn't even thinking about that after, at the midway of the season. I was just thinking about the goals. I'd actually kind of forgotten about that until I got to about February. I was thinking, oh yeah, that Player of the Year thing. I might actually win that this year.
For that,
the only thing I was thinking of was like, if I win that, it'd be good for like a move. If I was Player of the Year, like surely gonna get moved somewhere if I'm for free. So I got there, but I actually that season was brilliant. I loved that season. And we weren't even doing that well. Yeah, we weren't. The team weren't doing that well. I struggled. In all honesty, I struggled with, the team and the boys in the team. I didn't
really.
Yeah, I'd say I've changed more so in terms of the way I approach people. I listened to the thing about Tom Brady talking about how you need to be a good teammate, and it kind of changed my perception on it. But I was basically I was probably being a bit too draconian with. I was probably treating them too harshly in terms of like, I was just on this absolute mission. Like I was like I'm getting out, I'm getting a move this year.
Tunnel vision, that's it.
Yeah, I was like, if you don't want to train, if like the people on my team, if they didn't want to train properly, not do the gym properly, if they wanted to just go and, mess about, I just didn't speak to them, which is bad looking back at it now, because I had my mate at the time was Josh Todd. And I would just sit with him and just speak to him. Rico Katonga was there as well. So I would just be with them. But I would kind of ostracize everyone else. I would exclude them, which is wrong. But I was just too focused, man. I had no time to be dealing with people that weren't kind of on the same wavelength I was.
No, I understand that, definitely.
Which is, sometimes I had to be that way. Because the same thing as well, I needed to move again. Because I was in League One, I got to the Championship, and I went down. I was like, man, I need to move again. So I ended up, but I love the people there. The people at that club are brilliant. Yeah, this is a bit of a long answer, but it's that was a very important year in terms of that was a year I finally, obviously you hit the 20 mark and you're like, right, you're making a bit of a name for yourself now. People actually know you are, that you can score goals.
Marvin Bartley came in midway through that season.
Yeah, big Marvin.
He actually came in the media and said the team need to stop relying on you for goals. Don't know where he's got that feel like.
He said it in one of the meetings. He said it in one of the meetings with the team. And I was like,
what were you thinking? I'm the man.
I was like cringing, man. I was like,
were you? You don't like that?
Yeah, because I was thinking the boys don't even like me anyway. So like, they're gonna be fuming off him saying this in a meeting.
Beautiful.
And I was like, well, and I didn't. Not that I didn't agree with it. I just didn't mind it. If they wanted to rely on me to score goals, that's fine. It was on me to score goals anyway, and I was just gonna keep trying to do what I was doing regardless. But I remember him coming out and saying that. I was like, man, they're gonna hate this.
What was Bartley like?
Yeah, he was brilliant for me.
Was he good for you?
Yeah, he was brilliant. He was brilliant for me. I think he took on a hard job at a difficult time for the club.
Definitely.
The players that we had, the team that we had, it probably was a hard task for him, and then he tried to bring people in obviously next year after. But for me, he was brilliant. He just let me do what I wanted when I trained. He was good for me. He actually tried to get me a move to Livingston. Because obviously
he was there before.
Yeah, because he knew Martin there, and he said, look, you should maybe take a look at this boy. And he was brilliant for me, man. I've got a lot of time for him, actually, to be honest.
Legend, Hibs legend.
Hibs legend, yeah, big Hibby. He was good for me, man. Definitely. I really enjoyed. He was just let me be, and he kept me on and let me play the games. He trusted me. And that goes a long way in football.
Just make sure you're not playing the PlayStation too much, eh? Nick Odd when you're playing for Queen and South.
No COD. Yeah, I know. Yeah, jeez, God. The boys were playing a lot of COD, to be fair.
Were they? Sweats like?
Yeah, they were sweating it out, like.
Right, clearly.
Yeah, they must have been. They all must have been Prestige Master and all that.
Oh, it must have been like.
They all loved COD, man. They all loved COD. They did, yeah. But then I loved it as well, but I never got a mention.
You've got to watch, like. You've got to watch. They play it too often, like.
Yeah, I've got.
And then you move from Queen of South to Queen's Park, undisclosed fee. Mr. Money.
Undisclosed fee, yeah.
Come on.
Couple £1 million, that was.
Couple million, like 40 quid or something.
40 quid. Just a bag of chips. That's all it was.
Good start there.
Yeah. Yeah, it did, yeah.
Player of the month, August, top of the table.
Yeah. Started well. We did, yeah.
Yeah, and then it wasn't so well.
Yeah, just fell.
Manager got sacked in December.
Yeah.
Callum Davidson came in. What was he like?
Yeah.
Successful.
Yeah, he's brilliant, yeah. Look, Robin's ideas were just... he couldn't really implement them with what we had. He had the right idea, I think, right intentions in his heart. But obviously didn't work out, so Callum came in. He was brilliant. Couldn't speak highly enough of him as a manager. He completely left me to my own domain. He trusted me 100%. And he was a real decent guy. He was just a perfect kind of... solution to what we were. He brought in a few experienced boys, Killian, Sean, Danny. Killian was brilliant for me. I would attribute a lot of my move to him. He done so well for me in terms of unselfish as a striker and real top guy. But
I want to play it for you.
Yeah, put a couple on the plate for me, a few
25
tap-ins.
goals. Had to read that a few times, like, bit mental.
25 goals,
in the championship, that's good.
Yeah, just I had momentum. I think that's what I felt. I just had momentum from the year before, and then I was playing every minute of the games, and I just knew I'd got opportunities, and just felt like I could score from anywhere, But difficult year. Scraped staying up in the last day, being Airdrie, which was great, because they definitely don't like me too much, as I previously mentioned. They were fuming that we beat them in the last day, but. Yeah,
winding a few fans up, aye.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, they're more than happy.
Cheeky.
They're more than happy to slaughter you from the stand. So I think
you've got to get back, eh?
If you can give it, you can take it.
Aye.
So right. Yeah, that was brilliant, man. We had a great year.
That season ends, and as that's coming to a close, you thinking, I could get a move here.
Yeah,
I could go up.
Well, I did think. Yeah, I was like, right, I should have some interest from somewhere because everyone wants a goal scorer. So I said, right. Hopefully I get something here now, and I kind of knew that would be a that would be the kind of fourth. You know, I'm breaking the fourth wall with that move, because I know I was obviously either going to go to a Premiership team or I was going to go down south, obviously, which is what I eventually done.
Port Vale, another undisclosed fee. Moving up in the world.
2 bags of chips this time.
Come on, get in there.
Yeah.
But was there options to stay in Scotland or?
Yeah. Funny enough, Dundee United was one of them. And I was really, really liking the prospect of that move, but things didn't come to fruition. Couldn't meet a certain figure with the club, so Port Vale came in and paid it. So yeah, it was a no-brainer. Had to go.
Definitely a bit different League Two. What's the standard like compared to, let's say, the Championship in Scotland?
Yeah, it's a step up. Yeah,
step up.
Nothing mental in terms of. I didn't go there and thought, oh, Jesus Christ, you know. I got there and didn't know what to expect. To be honest, didn't know what to expect, but met some really good people there, and I really enjoyed it. Actually, really enjoyed it. I know, obviously.
Suit in Manchester, right?
Yeah, Manchester,
definitely.
brilliant.
You're going to the soon, eh?
Yeah, we get the boys down
boys
soon. Few of them.
Defo.
But brilliant. Just had a great time, man.
Scored a nice free kick as well, eh? Bit of a fluke, like, but.
Yeah. Just hitting hope for the best. Do you know what I mean?
It.
Hopefully it goes
decent
in.
At the free kicks, like Ronaldo, and early in that.
That's you twice. You've compared me to Messi and Ronaldo in this interview, yeah. Just saying, mate. You must think I'm good, man.
I think be your pal, mate.
The free kicks have been from when I was younger. Obviously, I was talking about practicing them. So yeah, that I did. But look, just very stop-start after a while, and then
hard to get a run of games, and as a striker as well.
Yeah,
you need that. You need it.
Yeah, it's hard. Look, didn't fancy me to go in from the start a lot of the time, and it was just a bit too stop-starty for me. And then this came up, and I just thought, nah, I've got to go. I've got to do this.
Massive club, Dundee United.
Yeah, massive club. I just thought, I've got to go. If it means I'm going to come here and play games, and yeah.
So were you keen on a loan move? Did you ask?
Well, yeah, but Dundee United came to my agent first. But obviously we're kind of reading the situation. They were like, well, what's gonna, do you want to do this or not? And I said, yeah. I did.
Definitely.
And I actually really enjoyed Port Vale in terms of that the supporters. I had a great relationship with the people that worked in the club, the boys in the team, and I really enjoyed it. But I had to look after my career, and I had to go. A bit kind of tumultuous in terms of having to move again, but yeah, no brainer. Massive club, man. You gotta go. Gotta go. As you can see, you were there yesterday.
Definitely.
Brilliant place to play football.
It was packed as well.
Brilliant place to play football, man.
Definitely.
Brilliant.
Third place after.
Yeah.
Don't know. I think Ibs will get there, but.
Yeah. You're just trying to get little Hibs in there, aren't you?
No, Hibs, come on.
Nah, brilliant place to play football. Brilliant. I enjoy it so much.
Definitely.
And a lot of time for the manager.
Jim Goodwin, fellow Irish.
Yeah,
what's he been like
most handsome manager in the world.
Oh, I think so.
That's what they say, man. He's got to be.
Don't know, Neil Lennon maybe.
You're Neil Lennon. These are good guys, well, actually. They just, he just kind of said, look, come here, play your games, score some goals, and see what happens. But yeah, in terms of very similar in terms of the way Callum works, is like we just come in, train, do the business, and then do the business on the match day as well. And it's good to be part of something that you're going forward into. We're looking
fighting for Europe now as well.
Yeah, completely different from last year. You're talking about what it feels like in a change room. Yeah,
everyone's buzzing.
Chalk and cheese, man. Chalk and cheese.
Definitely.
So yeah,
good times.
It's been brilliant, man. I'm enjoying every day of it, which is most important.
What's the plans for the summer then? Just see how it's going at United.
That's the plans for the summer. I'm going away. That's the plans for the summer. Ibiza. Well, maybe. Boys are talking about Ibiza. I'm going to Malia for a bit. Week in Malia, I think. Maybe Greece.
Watch out if you're going to Malia.
Yeah, watch out.
Definitely.
Anyone going to Malia, watch out, man. It's getting smashed up.
Definitely.
So,
do it.
Nah, we're going to, I think, maybe go to Greece as well. Another part of it. Maybe Spain.
Can't hide the door.
No. I love the sun. The sun, man. The sun. So maybe go to a couple of places, but won't have a lot of time off this year. I don't think. Won't have a lot of time off. Finish in the middle of May. It's quite late. So yeah, a few holidays. And then when the summer comes around,
go to let your hair down, Definitely.
Yeah, you got to enjoy life as well. We'll see what happens with the football. We'll see what happens. You got to take care of now before you can look ahead. So let's see what happens now first.
Right, quick fire round. Excited for this? Like,
yes, mate.
Few submissions for the fans. Like, right, best place for a night out in Scotland.
Used to be Dalkeith. It's shut now. Woodburn Club.
Mental, aye.
Yeah, that's generally the best night out. Maybe anywhere.
Really?
Yeah. Nah, man. Woodburn Club. Anyone who's been to the Woodburn Club knows what I'm on about.
I'm too young to.
Yeah, come over there. Yeah, used to go down in the hip
run
days.
the place, aye.
Unbelievable, mate. Yeah, best night out by a mile.
Really?
Now, for me, in the UK, best place. All UK or just Scotland?
So England's the next one. What's the best one in England?
Manchester. Hands down.
Therefore?
Yeah, hands down. Not that I've been to that many places. I've been to Liverpool.
Liverpool's meant to be good.
Yeah, no, but Manchester.
You're at Newcastle, it's terrible.
Yeah, been to Newcastle as well. No, Manchester's a joke.
Aye,
yeah.
Good, aye.
Such a good vibe.
Worst bit of abuse for a fan?
Worst bit of abuse?
Been getting pelters, surely.
Worst bit of abuse from a fan? Yeah, just getting called Irish and stuff.
Just stuff like that. You maybe can't say it on here, aye.
But I mean, yeah, just like Irish abuse. Yeah, that's the worst
like
stuff.
That,
yeah, that's the worst stuff. Yeah, the other stuff, the other stuff I don't mind. It's kind of funny, to be fair.
Does it bother you? Not just.
Nah, some people actually like say that, but it don't bother me at all. No, the Irish stuff though, I think is just if you whatever about football, but don't bring that crap into it. Like, yeah,
nah, definitely not.
Irish stuff, yeah.
Keep that out of football. Aye. Haters though.
Haters, yeah.
Usual.
That's all I do, man.
Favourite manager? Who's your favourite?
Who's my favourite manager?
You've played under.
Cam Davison. Yeah.
Shout out for him.
Yeah, shout out.
Pre-match ritual. I seen you. Were you praying yesterday?
Yeah.
Were you? Is that what you do?
Yeah, I pray before we go out with the changing room. Yeah, I pray to the 4 people that I've lost in my life, and I say a prayer to God to guide my fate, good or bad. Give me what I deserve. If that's bad or good, put it in His arms. Ask for a bit of good fortune, hopefully, for the ball to fall at my feet in a good area. But
naysayers.
No, yeah, and then and then when I go out on the pitch, yeah. But I've no pre-match rituals in terms of superstitions. I think superstitions are a load of crap.
Just
load of shite, mate.
No buying that,
No, I think it's a load of rubbish.
Definitely, fair
yeah,
enough.
Putting like your left sock on first and all.
Stuff like that. There's no way to change it.
Give me a break, man. No. Just praying. That's all I do.
Yeah.
Pray.
No breakdancing, that.
No.
That's only about the break. I want to hear about that.
Only Saturday nights. That's for
Saturday nights. St Andrews.
In St Andrews, yeah. No, what about you want to talk about the breakdancing?
Let's hear it. Intrigued.
Yeah, I used to do it when I was a kid. Yeah, I used to watch Michael Jackson when I was younger.
Really, big MJ fan.
And I was like mesmerised by him. I used to watch him on the. Yeah, we used to have. You're too young, lad. They used to have like a computer at home, big like thick black computer. I can't remember what the name of it was. And I used to just watch him on YouTube, man, moonwalking and all that. I was like, man, this guy's just like. This is the coolest guy ever. So I used to go like up and down my street and all pretend I was in a music video.
Really?
Yeah. I used to wear. Yeah, exactly, mate.
Yeah,
exactly.
You get an invite to Netherlands?
I think they never got an invite. No. He was like, I think people used to look out the window and be like, what was that kid doing? Like, that kid's got something.
Oh, weird.
He's got something wrong with him.
He's got some moves. So break some out later. Right?
Yeah, break some out. Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. Funniest teammate.
Funniest teammate ever.
Aye.
Chizzy and Ronan were funny at
Port
Vale. Yeah, Chizzy is up there. Martin Boyle was funny. But no, we weren't really teammates, but he was. Killian Sheridan's funny as well.
Yeah.
Different way though.
Different type of funny.
Yeah, I've had a few. I'd maybe. Trying to think. Lee Conley, he's funny.
Really?
Oh my god, mate, he's funny as hell, man.
A few funny ones, aye. Know yourself, not?
Nah.
Know about yourself?
No.
No
Just
chance.
funny looking, mate.
Funny looking, too, right. Best pal in football?
Jeez, you're killing me here. Best pal in football. Josh Todd, maybe. Josh Todd, say someone who actually speak to. Rico. Rico Katongo, I would say. Maybe Ronan Chizzy. One of them. Maybe Toddy, because I've spent so much time with him outside of football.
Aye.
Josh Todd, maybe. If not, maybe Ronan Chizzy.
Aye, something like that. And last one, best looking teammate ever. Who's the best?
Gaffer
looking?
count, no.
Well, nah.
My gaffer count, nah.
You try to say Jim Goodwin, like?
Yeah, it could be.
You're dying.
George Clooney, man. George Clooney.
Clooney.
Best looking teammate. Jeez, I've had a few ugly teammates now. Best looking teammate.
Like the ugliest as well. We'll leave that one. We'll leave that one.
So best looking teammate. I wouldn't say I've played with people. I wouldn't like. Everyone loves that Tom Lang, don't they?
Aye.
Yeah, they all love him, don't they? He like models and that, doesn't he?
Aye.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Best looking teammate. It was. God, man. Best looking teammate. Maybe. I don't know.
You stuck here?
Yeah. I swear, you think I'd play, but just no one decent looking. That seem to do. People seem to really like a guy called Tom Sang at Port Vale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you got ladies, aye.
No, he's like 10 years deep. He's
really?
Like wifed up, but yeah, man. A few people used to say to me, he's like proper handsome.
Aye. Do you get handsome shouts? No.
Me?
Nah.
Sure, never, mate. Nah. So hey, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't say there's been one I've played with who's like actually model. That comes to mind right now. So I'd maybe go him. I got a few shouts off him. Yeah. Or me. Can I say myself?
Oh, no chance. No gain of that one. No, but I think that'll be all. So thanks for coming on the day, Ruari.
No, appreciate it, man.
Good luck for the rest of the season, apart for Wednesday, obviously. But cheers, mate. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Come on, bro.
Come on.